Thanks for the opportunity to share this progress report with you tonight and get your feedback on our work. Since the Climate Action Planning Committee may be new to some of you, I wanted to start with a brief review of our mission and our charge from the Select Board. Our committee sees its mission as to advise and engage the Milton community on how to mitigate the damaging impacts of climate change. Our charge from the Select Board defines how we go about doing that. We're to prepare a climate action plan for consideration by town meeting that addresses the strategies and best practices for reducing community-wide greenhouse gas emissions in alignment with the targets set by Massachusetts law. Additionally, we're to do this via a process that engages residents, experts, and other stakeholders and integrates with existing town bylaws, policies, and processes. When we say in alignment with targets set by Massachusetts law, a reminder of what that means. In 2021, Massachusetts passed a landmark climate law that commits the state to achieving net zero emissions of climate warming pollution by 2050. Achieving this goal requires starting now with technologies available today, so Massachusetts' strategy relies on promoting energy efficiency and electrification, that is, transitioning from fossil fuels to electricity for heating, cooking, and transportation. At the same time, enormous investments are being made to expand the supply and reliability of clean electricity and to maintain the capacity of our natural and working lands to absorb the remaining emissions, the net in net zero. So where does Milton's climate warming pollution come from? The top sources are transportation, buildings, gas leaks, and solid waste. 53% comes out of our tailpipes. 42% goes to heat, cool, and power our homes and buildings. Roughly 3% comes from natural gas and refrigerant leaks, and the last 2% comes from management of our solid waste stream. We've estimated that the natural greenery surrounding us can absorb about 6% of that each year. From 2017 to 2022, Milton's greenhouse gas emissions increased by 3.6%. We're going in the wrong direction, and we need to turn things around. Some of the key outcomes that state plans see as necessary to meet climate goals are summarized here. I won't read them word for word, but you can see these are massive undertakings. We must work towards a majority of existing buildings completing energy efficiency renovations, replacing aging heating and cooling equipment with electric heat pumps, installing on-site renewable energy, replacing the vast majority of vehicles with electric or non-emitting alternatives, and drastically improving access and safety of alternate modes of transport. Achieving a dramatic reduction in solid waste disposal because in-state landfills will be closing in the next decade, and diverting a lot of our food waste to compost facilities. We'll need to proactively maintain our forests and significantly expand tree cover and land and permanent conservation status. This is a lot of ground to cover, so our committee has organized into working groups covering key sources of climate warming pollution and adaptation to climate risks. We're focused on researching near-term strategies that can start moving us as a town in this direction. And you can use this roster to know who to reach out to on any of these topics. Here's a high-level outline of our work plan and target timelines, though I'll admit they are slipping given the amount of work required. First, we aim to complete a draft climate action plan for the Select Board and the community to review. We learned from our public engagement efforts last year that residents need more specific proposals to react to if engagement is to be effective, and a comprehensive draft plan will provide those. Our community engagement will combine general outreach to raise awareness with focused engagement on specific strategies and recommendations in the plan to refine and prioritize our proposals and build buy-in and support. And finally, we'll finalize the plan based on feedback and seek formal endorsement. Once the plan's approved, we see a need for the committee to continue its work, supporting implementation and creating a process to update the plan regularly. Finally, the most important slide, what we need from you to be successful. In the near term, budget for consulting support would help us move faster and get better results. Most towns engage consulting support to develop a climate action plan, particularly to facilitate robust community engagement, without which the plan will just be a document on the shelf. In particular, our committee doesn't have the expertise to produce an annual update to the greenhouse gas inventory requested in our charge. We also need your input on the approval process. Most other town caps are endorsed by the Select Board and a town meeting vote, and we could use your help fleshing out what that approval process ought to look like in Milton. It's also critical that we begin planning now for the staffing and resources that will be required to coordinate and execute a plan. It's too much and too important to depend entirely on a volunteer committee. There's a great deal of state, federal, and private funding and support becoming available for this work. A recent article in the Boston Globe highlighted the fiscal benefits that sustainability staff have had in other Massachusetts towns, helping them access generous sources of funding for sustainability work. In general, we need the advice and partnership of the Select Board and town staff on how to proactively engage Town Hall in the long-term planning needed to tackle this proactively and not be playing catch-up as the world changes around us. That concludes my presentation, and I'm eager to hear your questions and feedback. Thank you very much.